Hello everyone, and welcome to a Ark Nova replay analysis. As you can probably hear, I am not Sam, but I still try my best. I'm Propaganda Panda, a competitive Ark Nova player. If you followed the high elo scene a bit, you're maybe familiar with me. And today we're going to look at a match between Employee 427 and dmannaioni, two master level Ark Nova players themselves. So don't be fooled by their current elo, both of them have been over 700 in the past. And this match is part of the Emo Cup. If you don't know what that is, it's a high level tournament which has started a few days ago actually. We've assembled 16 very, very strong players, as you can see by their peak strength. And you may recognize some familiar names like Yadi, Darcel, Dwarven, Sam, aka Sorry I'm Like This. I'm also competing. And these 16 players will first play against each other in a group stage in a single round robin. So basically, everyone plays everyone once. And the top 8 finishers will progress to a knockout bracket with quarterfinals, semifinals, and a grand final, which will all be played in a best of 5. And this way, we will crown the first Emu Cup winner. This will go on for probably the next 3 months with many, many high level matches, and we'll try to cover as many as possible on this channel with live streams and replays. So I hope you will enjoy it. Now about this match, we're gonna look at it from the perspective of Employee. I've chosen him simply because he's first player, so the choice of player perspective doesn't have to do anything with the outcome of the game. And we are on Commercial Harbor. On the old one, I should say. The whole tournament will be played on the old maps, not on the alternative ones, which are live in Arena. And the projects are Species 4.3, Primates 5.2, and Europe 5.4. This is already pretty bad, I would say, because both Primates and Europe are amongst the hardest base projects to do, simply because there are no European and Australian primates. Therefore, there are less monkeys in the game than other base species, 18 compared to 25, and also less um, European animals compared to, for example, Asian, African, and American. It's 20 to 25. So getting to 5 for monkeys, for example, is already pretty hard. We're probably just going to aim for 2, and getting to 5 or for Europe is also not trivial at all. And because of the lack of European monkeys, these two are also completely non-synergistic. So you can't work on both at the same time. On a map of like Commercial Harbor, where you want to do a lot of projects usually, because of this times 2, you want to like usually finish out the game with a double assoc. You will usually try to get hold of any project you can find, and this will be exacerbated even more now that the base projects are so hard to do. So this is something to look out for. On the opposite, Species 4.3 is very easy to do and usually enables an early project in round 1 or even round 2 or even round 1. So this is something which both Employee and dmannaioni will definitely look at. So if we look at this, also notable, there's a uni here on 5 CP as a bonus. You can also get a uni as a project reward, obviously. So ideally, you will only want to do 1 assoc action for a uni. So if we look at the starting hands of Employee, his endgames are diverse and climbing. And immediately, of course, we see this cable car, just an S tier card in general, and basically always a keep in your starting hand. And then with climbing park, even better, of course. Then we have Reese's Monkey Park, usually a bit of a, I would say, subpar sponsor. Still serviceable, but not the best. But with monkeys as a project and also species, this is also definitely a keep. And these two also kind of synergize fairly well, because for cable car you need to find an X somehow to play it early on. And with Regis Monkey Park, you could just lead on Monkey Park, get an X that way, and then play cable car later. But of course, we may also want to start with cable car. This also kind of depends on the display, right? So we will have to see. I would definitely also would like to keep the Caracal here, simply because it's a playable animal. You can start with a size 2 here immediately to connect to the harbor. And every card ability here is obviously enhanced because you can convert cards into money if needed, and you are less dependent on more robust, let's say, against like poor card draw and variance, because if you whiff on draws, you can still just sell them, right? And for the last card, I'm not quite sure. I think both Expert and Herbie and Sheep could be somewhat interesting because it gets us a cheap way to species 3 in round 1 immediately. But I'm not even quite sure if we want to do an early project because we do have starting player advantage and a social prior. So just starting with hand size uni would make sense to me here. And then also like for Expert and Herbie, we already have 2 high strength sponsors and our sponsors only starts at 2, which is very bad. So we may not have time to even play Expert and Herbie very early. And the sheep, I mean, a single petting zoo is just not so good, and it's very likely that we can find other animal tags in other ways. So I would probably lean towards Diversity Researcher as the last card. Amongst the remaining cards, it's also just the best card in a vacuum for sure. It's just a generically strong card, I would say, even underrated by many. Um, One downside is that on this map, I personally think Sponsor's upgrade is a bit weaker than elsewhere. I mean, Sponsor's upgrade is just very good in general, right? But you sometimes don't really have space or enough room for a sponsor upgrade. And on Commercial Hammer, you obviously want to upgrade cards. And also, because you have more money than on other maps due to all the sunbathing, a Soch also becomes better because you have more financial wiggle room for donations. And also with this Reese's Monkey Park, so we don't know yet if this is going to be a monkey game or not, but it is possible. And if we play a lot of monkeys, we will end up with a lot of X tokens. And if we have a lot of X tokens, then upgraded Soch is also a good way to convert these X tokens into points by doing a Soch 7 or 8. And if you upgrade both cards in the Soch and the standard build animals, then sponsor often just stays behind. Personally, I solve this dilemma by just not upgrading build, which is probably kind of like my trademark style, but not everybody is comfortable with this. So yeah, totally understandable if you don't want to take a sponsor 2 card here, but I still think it has the highest base value and definitely the highest ceiling. So I would lean towards this, but taking Expert and Herbies or Sheep also totally valid. So let's see what Employee does. He keeps these exact 4. Okay, I like it. And if we look at the display, I think 3 interesting cards catch my eye. So Savannah would allow us to release the Caracal immediately, but we already have a pretty easy project here, right? So I wouldn't put too high emphasis on a mediocre release right away. Then we have the Eagle Owl, which yeah, has perception, good here obviously, and also matches Europe. But I'm not quite sure if we want to start with a partner zoo here. Like with the Prio, I would just want to lead on hand size. So probably not something you want to get immediately. The Frilled Lizard, however, is very, very interesting, of course, because it has a rock icon for cable car. It's also another animal tag for species. And we even have a sea cave here if you want to release it, although I'm not really a fan of that because we want to kind of keep the rock tag, and the lizard is actually not that cheap of a release. So we could see Employee snapping the lizard. This will also depend on how he wants to like change sponsors. You could, as I said, lead on Monkey Park, for example, just put it here immediately. Then you can play the cable car here, which is like my favorite spot to start with cable car. There are many spots, but some like this or this or this, these spots like kill the very popular Avery spot up here. Right? So we kind of prefer to play like this or even this. And if you lead with Monkey Park like here, or even here maybe to clever something down and put sponsors up again so you can play both, um, then yeah, this would be a way to get out both, just to get the tag and try to get the species next round. But could also be a bit tricky because the lizard and the caracal cost 29 money altogether with the enclosures. We only have 25, so we need to sell 2 cards. And we already use our first cards action on Snap, so it's probably going to be pretty hard to play both. We could sell the card we get with Sprint, but maybe we also want to keep it. So maybe there's no rush to get out 3 animal tags right away and just secure the lizard. So we're going to see what Employee does. He builds a 2 size here. Yeah, very versatile. You can play both the Caracal and the lizard into it. Still can decide whether you want to play Monkey Park or Cable Car. And dmannaioni just starts with Quarantine Lab. Pretty good card in general, right? And now I think we'll just take hand size. Yeah. I like this. It's the best starting a social action, basically. So just execute what's possible. This also puts dmannaioni now in a very tough spot because he doesn't really want to do cards, because this way employee can just do cards himself and just break 5 and use his hand size to force dmannaioni into discards. So you can expect dmannaioni to not do cards. On this level, he's definitely aware of employee like having the possibility to break. So he will probably wait on these cards. And he actually starts with a social, not building. Okay, so he takes Australia. Okay, very interesting. I mean, this is the weakest partner zoo usually, but could indicate a breeding program or a koala, which is just a good way to get appeal. Although you can't do cards to pouch, so this would be a bit awkward. And okay, employee just X's big animals. Okay, this definitely signals that he wants to get out cable car right now, and probably also snap the frilled lizard. To be honest, I probably would have preferred for employee to expect build then, simply because he can just play the because it would have also allowed more flexibility to maybe build something larger than the 2 size. For example, you can just start with a cable car here if you want to, and then just build a 4 size here, right? Like if employee is really eyeing the release, which may be very much on the line, although you need to get into this card spot, right, if you want to get the sea cave also. So I guess maybe what employee did was right. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to think too much about trading order now, because otherwise we're gonna be here until tomorrow. And dmannaioni builds the 4 size here next to water. Doesn't touch rock, so it's no koala. Very curious choice. I mean, a 4 size next to water like this basically telegraphs an Australian sea lion. Could also be just to cheapen up a pelican to release it later, but I would say that it's probably a sea lion, which is a very, very good release. And we have the savanna here. So now this is very, very interesting, because I said that employee should snap the lizard, but now, just with the danger of the sea lion, the release is so good here with a uni at 5 CP, right? I think I would actually just snap the savanna. Like, using it just for denial would probably be too speculative, but you need to remember you also still have this Kara card, right? So we can just release. So yeah, if it turns out that he has a sea lion, then I think the deny snap was kind of worth it, and we could even just hide the cable car until next round and get the lizard this way probably. And if he doesn't have the sea lion, just I don't know, for example, pelican, and wanted to reduce it by 3 money, then we can use the savanna ourselves to release the Karaka. So I wouldn't hate the savanna snap here, but you can also just stick to your original plan and take the lizard. And okay, employee does take the lizard. And dmannaioni, I would, yeah, he doesn't want to do cards right away, right? Because this way, employee could break on him. And it is the sea lion, okay. Now the savanna obviously becomes super, super good. And I would totally expect dmannaioni to just snap it. And yeah, there's not too much we can do about it. So I guess we just stick to our original plan and play the cable car. With the action order being a bit awkward, Regis Market Park still a bit far away. Now, maybe taking the sea cave is indeed a consideration. I still don't really like it, because, as I said, I want to keep the rock icon. But if you want to do a round 2 project, then taking sea cave is not too bad. And also, it's just a very good release in general, right? So maybe, even if you don't want to release the lizard right away, it's still a good card to keep. And now dmannaioni, I think, I totally expect him to snap the savanna here. It's just so good for him. But he snaps the eagle owl instead. Very curious choice. Okay, so build like this. Okay, so I think this means 2 or maybe 3 possible things. So things for employee, like we don't have a good way to get to this savanna, right? We can't really build for it. The card spot is very far away, and our cards is also very low. So maybe dmannaioni indeed does have a breeding program and just wants to take savanna next round with a snapping bonus. He could also just have an Australia release. Then the savanna obviously is not not that attractive anymore. Or could be a little bit of a gamble, but I would totally assume that dmannaioni is going to break now. And this will put Savannah down to folder 1. And then at the start of next round, employees still can't get hold of it, and dmannaioni can just build a 2-size here, get the Savannah, and even use the 2-size for the Eagle Owl later on. Would be a bit risky if employee just plays like a digging animal now, like a mountain tapir, for example, or even a snapping reptile. But after the lizard snap, I think it's fairly telegraphed what he wants to do, so maybe worth the risk. Don't hate it. The Eagle Owl, obviously, pretty good. And the way dmannaioni just committed so hard to the Eagle Owl kind of indicates that he probably has another Europe animal in hand already. So, okay, and we get Aquarium with the lizard. Wow, this is probably one of the best possible draws we could have had. Like, just super strong card in general, right? But also makes this diversity researcher absolutely amazing now, because we will get a lot of money from all the tags. We're basically guaranteed to get like the full endgame points. And also just having this card out makes it much easier to fit in water and rock animals, right? Because we don't have to care where we put enclosures. And now just a break, yeah, for sure. Everything else would not make sense. So let's see what gets revealed. The rear and large animals disappears, and we have a Fennec Fox and Expert at Large. Not too exciting, but okay. So employee. Okay, he builds. Okay, this does indicate that he wants to release the lizard. I probably wouldn't have hated to just take uni, and go for species in round 3. Like, this uni is gone, most likely gone, right? So it's not too hurtful to take a second uni with an action. The clever stone cards. Okay, interesting. You usually want cards pretty high here, of course, because yeah, cards is just money, right? And also you want to like kind of threaten a break because dmannaioni really, really wants a worker, right? Like a Europe partner to get his Eagle Owl, so this would put some pressure on him. But employee also wants his sponsors high to get out his sponsors, right? So, but still, I probably would have not X-Stone cards. The 3 size is a bit random. It's like the Yadi special. We have a Marabou here, but yeah, sure. I mean, you need to build something, right? And now dmannaioni. So I totally expect he doesn't build for the Savannah. So he either has Australia release or breeding program snaps Savannah. Everything else doesn't make sense. And okay, he does have Blue Mountains National Park. Very good. And yeah, this gets him a free uni. I also didn't comment on how he built. So he could have built a size 5 actually, which also touches rock. I think I would have preferred this, and he could have done this. He would have had to spend an X token because his cards was stuck on 5, right? But he had built on 4 and an X token for Quarantine Nap, and just having a 5 size, like overbuild for it and have it touch rock is very good in my opinion. He also could have built a 4 size like this, and this way it would also touch rock, but I think he just wanted the rep because now if he takes the 2 rep uni, then he will get to 5 rep immediately for an upgrade. Yeah, so I totally expect him to take this uni. Also blocks employee in case employee doesn't want to release the lizard. And okay, he upgrades build and takes the worker. I mean, I do think that the worker is very important here if the Eagle Owl is such an essential part of the game plan, but at the same time, the snapping bonus on this snap is absolutely OP, right? Because it's also money, and after a release, you're also a bit poor. So I think actually the 2 CP worker here would have been pretty good, and just go for no build. I mean, I'm like very focused on this, like fixated on it, and I always advocate for it, and maybe too much, but I think this is really a game where you maybe don't need build because you already have a 4 size here. There's still the species diversity, so you can probably get the 2 size bonus with the next project in round 3 or maybe 4 at the latest. And yeah, I just think giving up on snapping bonus is very, very tough. So I would have done 2 CP worker, but not everybody is like comfortable with this. Like I don't know how often dmannaioni does this. So if he really wants the worker, then yeah, I guess. Upgrades build animals, so the standard path, and yes, he does take the science uni for 2 upgrades, makes sense. And now we're just kind of forced into releasing the lizards, right? Our preferred uni is gone, and we don't want to shuffle around to get species 3, so yeah, just release it. And employee does take snapping. I think this map's basically always the default first bonus. So does employee want to take the 2 CP worker? Probably not, right? The worker doesn't do too much here. Preferred union is already gone. And a partner so doesn't do too much. So I would assume he just upgrades. Maybe even upgrades sponsors, because we have 3 sponsors of high strength we want to get out. And yeah, that's exactly what he does. And he snaps the Marabou. Sure, I mean, we already have the 3 sides, and there's also this low mountain range. And dmannaioni just does a standard build action. Kiosk 2 sides to connect to the harbor, yeah. Pavilion, okay. And 1 side. So the standard build action. And also takes the low mountain range away. I think very alert. We already saw the Marabou here taken away, and low mountain range just a very, very good card in general, right? So yeah, now employee definitely wants to lead on aquarium to get the appeal first and get more money with diversity later. But now that I think about it more, I actually don't like the sponsors upgrade, because he could have just upgraded animals, and then I'm very sure that he wants to play the aquarium like this, right? It's just the ideal spot. In this way, you're already at 4 rep. And if you just have upgraded animals and then play animals, then you get to 5 rep anyway and can just upgrade sponsors afterwards. And you don't even need upgraded sponsors right away, right? Because you play aquarium and our sponsors is at 5 already. So this just loses 1 rep. Could be maybe not too impactful, but it actually kind of is, because if you finish this round on 5 rep, the next round you can just take the 2 rep uni, and with another upgraded animals action get to 8 rep for another worker. So this is not possible now anymore. And yeah, it's placed the aquarium like this, yeah. And we're just stuck on 4 rep, so a bit unfortunate, but okay, such is life. And dmannaioni, yeah, needs to take Europe now. Upgrades a Soch. Not too sure about this. I would have probably preferred cards first. I think he will not upgrade sponsors, but he doesn't have money for the cheap 2 CP donation anyway, right? Because he wants to play his Eagle Owl. And he's probably going to take the last uni next round anyway, so why not upgrade cards first? But okay, small detail. We do have money to play both animals here for employee. He leads on the Marabou, which makes sense, I guess, because we would need to sell a card, and the scavenging guarantees a card compared to Hunter, right? So it makes sense to lead on this. We get these 2, so sponsorship is just dead, but Shubil, do we want to sell it to play the Kara card right away? I actually think we don't. Like, Shubil is a pretty good animal if you can play it, and we have another science tech here. And also with the Marabou, we're kind of incentivized to build an Aviary later, which is perfect for the Shubil. So I would just keep it and delay the Marabou. And yeah, this is exactly what employee does. So very good. And dmannaioni just gonna play his Eagle Owl now, I think. Yep, that's exactly what he does. He doesn't have hand size, so he may just want to sell now. And yeah, okay. Employee now. Just access down build. Yeah, I guess, I mean, you don't need it right now, right? And we want to get out this Rhesus Monkey Park, I think. So dmannaioni just pushes the brake. Makes sense if you don't have a sponsor. And now, yeah, I don't think we want to do cards now to give dmannaioni the break, like the X token from breaking. So I guess we just play the Rhesus Monkey Park. Could just play it here, immediately connect to the harbor. Like, the shape just fits in perfectly. Although we could also snap away this tortoise now that I think about it. Because I didn't see it initially, but this tortoise is actually amazing for dmannaioni. Like, he already has an enclosure for it. And he can use it to leech on the Sea Cave release, right? It's pretty good. So just snapping it away maybe could have been a consideration, to be honest. But okay, he plays the monkey pack and he puts it here. Interesting. Now that I see it, I'd actually prefer this to my proposition. I think it's very well done from employee, because you have hand size, right? There's no need to connect to the harbor right away, and this way you get 5 money immediately. And now I also understand why employee did not want to snap the tortoise or just do cards in general, because I assume he now wants to play the Caracal, which is the third animal tag and allows him to do species 3 next round. So dmannaioni just builds. If he sells another card, he can do another full build action. Builds pavilion, 2 size, that's it. 2 size here for something. Could be an ibex. I mean, we already said that he probably has another Europe in hand because he just focused on the eagle owl so much, and 2 size next to 2 rock always smells a bit like an ibex. And yeah, we just play the Caracal now. Hunt, dingo, vulture. Probably keep the vulture, right? Because yeah, as I said, this looks like an Avery game. And now probably just gonna see cards and cards. dmannaioni. Just snaps the tortoise. Yeah, I like it. I mean, doing a full cards action, you already have 3 cards and no hand size, right? So if you do a full cards action, you're at 5. You can only sell 1 and have to discard 1. So snapping is good. And the tortoise is just very good in general, right? But it costs, I don't quite remember, I think it costs 21. Right now we only have 20, so would not need to like find 1 more card to sell. And okay, wow, now native farm animals appears. Incredibly unlucky reveal for dmannaioni, and here the RNG gods really smiled upon employee. I think this is literally the best card which could have appeared for employee right now. Because with diversity researcher you can maximize this so well, both the appeal and the endgame shields. So you definitely want to get this native farm animals. Now the question is, do we want to snap it right away? Or just do a normal card action then snap it during the break? In general, just seeing 3 cards with a normal cards action now is better, I think. And then just snapping it during the break. But there's also a small downside that if one of the 2 newly revealed cards is like a high prio card, you just need to leave it there for the opponent, because there's no way we are not getting this native farm animals. Like, even if like an eagle or a sun bear appears, I would still prefer native farm. It's like one of the best cards in the game, and in this situation with diversity, just the best, I would say. And okay, employee just draw some deck, fair enough. Small animals, just a project. I think we always keep this, although it's not doable immediately. And this card's expert in small. Okay, I think I would have thrown away the macaw. It's still kind of far away. But okay, just have a break. We're gonna snap this native farm for sure. Ooh, okay, and now exactly what I just talked about happens. Another prio card appears, namely the Secretary Bird. Because we saw dmannaioni take the low mountain range from the display just a few moves ago, right? So this Secretary Bird is insanely scary. Also, it literally has enclosure already. So we would usually love to deny this, but there's no way we're not taking native here. Yeah. So yeah. That's how it is. Here we have Capuchin. Could be interesting down the line. We're only 1 monkey away. dmannaioni, does he have another project? He could also just sell a card, play the tortoise, and release it. I don't know if he does want to sell a card. Or just maybe take a uni. If he takes a uni, I would actually probably prefer maybe even a Soch 7 to take another partisan. But let's see what he does. So he just does take the uni, okay. And it's gonna upgrade cards, I would assume. Yes, okay. Makes sense to not upgrade sponsors here. And immediately takes the cheap donation before employee can take it away, maybe, if he upgrades Soch himself, although looking unlikely right now with this sponsor upgrade. And employee just does species, right? Yeah, we already prepared this last round. And is he gonna... Okay, you could take 2 sides here because it allows you to even like maximize the border spaces even better. And 2 sides is just mandatory here eventually, right? To just connect to this ×2. But the uni also has a lot of immediate benefits, gets you 2 upgrades immediately, and yeah, with the 2 rep here, it also even gets you to another worker right away, right? So no, I like it. I think that's the immediate benefits of the uni. Just too good here. And he does upgrade animals. Sure. So now dmannaioni plays... Wow, plays a red panda. I was just saying that the Secretary Bird is exactly in range and he has 18 money. So he could have just played the Secretary Bird. I think this would have been so perfect for him, to be honest. So perfect. I'm quite baffled why he doesn't play it. Like, the release is arguably the best in the game. Instead he plays this red panda. Doesn't really do too much right away, right? I guess it's something for species 4 down the line, but I mean, there's no rush for this. And also, this times 2 on sponsors. Are we going to see break 10? I would assume yes, because dmannaioni also broke for 5 last round, right? So, and in between he only snapped the tallest, so we can assume he doesn't have a sponsor. Break 10 a bit awkward with like him still having 2 workers, but at the same time they are not doing too much, right? Like you can't do a project, taking another partner, so I don't know. So we probably do see break 10 and employees just probably just get diversity out of way to build afterwards for native. And yeah, that's exactly what he does. And now I just expect break 10 because likely doesn't have a sponsor, right? And now the lack of a snapping bonus really begins to bite dmannaioni in the ass because now the secretary bird can be denied. Like employee can and most likely will snap it away, which makes it even more baffling to me that dmannaioni didn't play the secretary bird right away. I mean, maybe he threw away the low mountain range, but honestly, I don't quite believe it because it's such a good card. Like, what amazing card could he have kept instead? And we knew that, I mean, if he threw away the low mountain range, then he must have kept the red panda instead, right? Because he didn't draw from deck in between, so he couldn't have gotten the red panda from deck, but he must have had it already from the perception or even before. And I don't think, so I think low mountain range is just always the keep uh, before the red panda. Even though the panda is obviously also a good animal, but okay. Now the secretary bird probably disappears. And wow, okay, we have a langur and a rhino. Ooh, very tough choice. I mean, you really, really want this bird to go away, but I think the rhino is just so good here, right? I mean, it's a rhino, it has a rock icon. So we don't have a natural project right away, although we do. Like, we can't do species, but we can just go for Africa 5, right? Just take a partner zoo, and then we have rhino and shubel. And even birds is still like on the menu, right? So this rhino, I think we have to just take it. And this langur also very interesting. It has rock, it's a monkey, but we don't have an enclosure for it right away. Now Empli just builds. Now it's interesting. So before the break, I would have thought you definitely just build an aviary, right? You could just, for example, build like here, then do pavilion here, kiosk here, for example. This preserves like this area here will be one shield, and then you would just settle on one shield this way, right? Because you want to also cover the times 2 eventually. But it's okay. I mean, our map is already very filled with 3 sponsor buildings, so now that I think about it more, you could actually even just build the aviary here, yeah, and then maybe put something like this here. This way you can even like preserve 2 shields maybe. So if you put aviary here, and later put something here and build a 4 size for the rhino here, then you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so you could I actually like an aviary here now, yeah, because this way you can, or you can build a 4 size for the rhino here later on. So this way you can get preserve 2 shields for native, and you don't need to play the rhino right away, right? And also like an aviary now frees up this 3 size, which is pretty nice for this langur. Like it's not in range right now, but dmannaioni may just be interested to like now finally draw the secretary bird. Oh, maybe we just snap it away and then put the langur into range. So I would prefer an aviary here, but okay, he just builds a 4 size for the rhino, I assume. Also okay. 2 size, and he has a 1 size somewhere else. Ah yeah, puts it here. So right now we are at 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12 appeal. And we still have, even after covering this, we still have 12 connected hexes here for 2 shields. So yeah, very well done, employee. This definitely maximizes the value. We will have to sacrifice 1 shield if we want to play an aviary or a large enclosure later, but it's always worth it, I think. So fair enough. I would have preferred the aviary because we can just build for the rhino later on here, but okay. Here's a small bug, but not too severe. dmannaioni just builds. Does he build for the secretary bird now? I would really like him to finally get this. But he just builds kiosk and 2. Very baffling. Is he just playing, does he just want to draw the secretary bird with his card section now? I mean, I still think he must have the low mountain range, right? It's such a good card. I just don't believe that he would throw it away for red panda. Now employee, does he want to snap it away maybe? Hmm. What's with animal? I mean, he wants to do some animal action now to play native afterwards. But, oh, okay, wait. I think I see. I actually see a very, very good line for employee here. Maybe, I think this must be the play. So employee now can just play secretary bird from range and Shubel. Because these two animals actually put him exactly at 25. So this doesn't even kill the native. It obviously removes the secretary bird. Um, and you can even just later build an aviary here or somewhere and free up the 4 size again for your rhino. So I think this would be very good. Plus, this way you immediately have 5 Africa. You don't even need to take the partner, so you already have your rhino project lined up, and also 3 birds, right? So if you play these 2 now, you will not struggle with the rhino project for sure. And you deny the bird, just build an aviary later. I think this is the play for sure. But okay, employee just takes a partner, so he takes America. Wow, okay. I don't quite understand this, to be honest. Like, if you take a partner zoo, why not take Africa, right? Because then you have 5 Africa for your project. I mean, I guess you could still just go for birds, 4, or hope to get to 5, but I mean, why not just secure the safe project, right? And America, I mean, I get why it's appealing, because there are literally 3 animals which need the partner zoo, right? But honestly, it's so risky because dmannaioni literally has cards in 5. He's doing this now. And I assume he's just gonna draw away like everything here. Like Capuchin, Anaconda, Secretary Bird, maybe even Jungle. And then you're left with a Macaw. Um yeah. I don't know. I think playing both the Secretary Bird and Shul was 100% the right call here. 100%. But so yeah, I'm pretty critical of taking this America, but let's see how this goes. So he draws 1 from deck, takes away Capuchin, finally takes the Secretary Bird, and takes away the Anaconda. Yeah, this one also had water icon, right? So, makes sense. And discards 1. And now, what kind of animal are we playing? Oh, okay. So first of all, another rhino got revealed, and even a Tarsier, another monkey, and baboon rock. So we got a monkey party here. Tarsier not playable for either yet. Nobody has Asia partner, so curious. But this rhino is also kind of interesting. So it's not that good for us now because we will even have problems to get to 1 good rhino project now that we took America Partnerzo, right? Like if we had played the Shubel and the Secretary Bird, then we even could have maybe gotten this rhino and just do Africa 5 and Birds 4 with it. But now this rhino is pretty useless for us. But we may want to deny it from dmannaioni. He has the 4 size already. And he could just get habitats, right? We know he already has like a tortoise, but even if he releases it with his upgraded Asoshi, he's just gonna take the partner tools he needs. So habitat is very much on the line for him. So I would maybe just use 1X to deny this rhino here. But instead he just plays native. Ah. I mean if you already spend an X, then I think you definitely want to just deny this rhino. Spend an X, deny the rhino, and then your sponsor is at 4, and you can just still do native, right? So don't really love this. And dmannaioni just spends an X for rep and now does animals. So I assume this is gonna be the Secretary Bird. Wow, okay, but he plays the tortoise instead. And he even sells 3 and gets the 3 size. Okay. I mean, if you don't have a sponsor, it's just better than 5 money. And plays the Ibex. Okay, so we were right about the Ibex, but so in replays sometimes the card counter is just bugged, so he may have more cards than 0 in hand right now. But if not, then this means that he just got rid of the low mountain range earlier, right? Which would be a huge mistake in my opinion. Like Secretary Bird release would have been so good. Obviously, he didn't know that the bird was there, but exactly for cases like this, you want to keep the low mountain range, right? So this would classify as a big mistake to me. But maybe he still has both of them, right? Maybe the card counter is bugged indeed. And then it would make sense to release the tortoise first, because if you release the bird, then you push down the sea cave 1 slot, and the sea cave may just disappear. So you're just probably gonna release the tortoise now. But honestly, like the 5 cards for employee are correct, so I would assume that he does not have the low mountain range anymore. And so probably just also sold the Secretary Bird. Bummer. And now we can assume that dmannaioni will take snapping bonus, right? You can just release the tortoise and snap the rhino, which is pretty good. Now employee spends another X. And he does deny the rhino. Okay, so I think denying the rhino is good, because dmannaioni would just snap it with its bonus. But why didn't you just snap it first and then play native? So this way, just one X token just went down the drain. But okay, dmannaioni is gonna release the tortoise now, I think. Oh, no, wow, he does species diversity instead. Huh. Okay, so I think this is a mistake for 2 reasons actually. So first of all, this, as I already alluded to, you want to like finish the game with ×2 Assoc. So just having a safe project here is just very good. Like this, the 3 shields from species, they're not running away. They're gonna be here forever. They can't be denied. So just leaving this, I think, would be much better. Just do the sea cave while it's there, right? And also, secondly, I didn't think about it too much about this 3 sides when you put it down. But now that he didn't release the tortoise, he actually can't use or doesn't want to use the 3 sides right away. Because if you release the tortoise later, then and this 3 size is filled, then you would release the tortoise out of the 3 size, not out of the 4 size, right? Which is a bit suboptimal. So pretty critical of not releasing the tortoise. Okay, we need to throw away a scoring card. Right now it's 2 for diverse, 1 for climbing, but I think I would prefer keeping climbing here, because diverse, right now it's 2, but honestly, we're in severe danger of only getting 1 shield, or it's less than 2, and I think it's very unlikely that we get 3. Whereas climbing park with the rhino is already saved 2 shields, and we may get to 3. Now that the ibex is gone, I think 7 rock icons are definitely not on the menu anymore, but getting to 5, I just think it's much more likely to get to 3 shields by climbing park, and it's also safe too, right? So would expect employee to keep climbing park, but he keeps diverse instead. Okay, interesting. dmannaioni snaps the baboon rock. I guess, right? It had a rock icon, fits the project. Employee could have even just played it here without sacrificing native farm shields. So I think, yeah, good snap. Now employee just does animals, right? I mean, we just play the rhino right away, but know which project you want to take, right? Could just play macaw Shubil. Also this Langer, I mean, we kind of want to play it before it goes away, right? But we would have to put it in the 4 size and then build a new 4 size for the rhino, which would just cost us a native farm shield now. But may still be worth it. But this is why I would have preferred the Avery probably, right? Because this would have freed up the 3 size for the Langer, and then you can just build a 4 size later for the rhino. So let's see what he does. I mean, the Langer is also good because it immediately causes a break. But okay, we lead on the macaw. Fair enough. Puts a pavilion, finally connects to the harbor. Kiosk and another pavilion. Sure. Maybe would have preferred just another pavilion instead of the kiosk, because we may not have any money issues for the rest of the game. So just getting the extra point at this stage of the game may be better. But the kiosk is like 4 to 5 income, right? We may have even maybe 2 more breaks. So yeah, I guess can't hate it. And it does sell the vulture. But why? Like, there's no way we're going to play 2 rhinos, right? I mean, it's hard enough to get 1 project. And at least the vulture would have given us a way to get to 4 birds. But okay, yeah, he just plays the Langer. So I guess his line of thinking is he's going to build a 4 size now. Then he won't have enough time to like build another Avery or 5 size for the vulture. Okay, so he does play the Langer. But it's really a bummer that we need to build a new 4 size now. But at least we get to break, steal the X token from dmannaioni. And okay, so we can get herbivore breeding. And also tapir and test devil. Wow, okay. These are actually all extremely attractive for employee. Even the test devil, right? Because this way we only need Europe for habitat. But I think the tapir is just too good here. It's another rock, right? So we only need 1 more for 6 rocks. And that way you can also do just either herbivore breeding or geological. So I would assume us to snap tap here, yes, and dmannaioni. He can also play herbivore breeding, and geological is also not bad for him. There's also a release here now. But yeah, just take herbivore breeding, I guess, makes sense. It's the best card for us. Now dmannaioni. Does he have a sponsor? Wow. That's strength 6. Is he gonna play the baboon rock? This seems very slow. Even sacrificing an X token for it. Like, so we know that he has the squirrel monkey, right? He also has the capuchin, but like doesn't have the partner support yet. Neither for the Tarsia. There is this Gereza here. So if he wants to play both the squirrel monkey and the Gereza eventually, then I guess baboon rock could be worth it. We're not gonna get to do the project. I think employees gonna block primates too for sure. But it's just some good appeal. So I guess, yeah. Playing the Gereza into 3 sides, like this is the old dilemma, right? This way we will release the tortoise out of the 3, not out of the 4 size. But if we play baboon rock, then Gereza is just too good. So I would just do it, I guess. And also allows us to take away geological. So I guess pretty decent baboon rock actually. Employee build for the rhino now, I guess. And okay, wow, what the hell? Just slams down a 4 size on the ×2 immediately. Now this is very curious. And he puts the ×2 on Soch. But okay, 1 size for the Schubel, but why? I don't quite understand it. Like usually like on Silver Lake with determination, you want to keep the ×2 for a strong final turn. You can use it mid-game if you think that you're ahead and you can just snowball and cross before the enemy can get into a range of 100, but it doesn't really look that way, right? So I would definitely want to preserve the ×2. I mean, I guess building it like this helps preserve like 2 shields from native, but still sacrificing an early or using the ×2 so early for this, I don't like. And we don't even get great value out of the ×2, right? So I'm just gonna take a partner zoo now and then do monkeys or small, or maybe even just take a partner zoo, upgrade a Soch, because I think you don't upgrade cards anymore, and release the Makor out of range. But honestly, I don't think we have time for another partner zoo. Like probably just gonna do 2 projects, right? But this is just primates for 2 and small animals for 2, which is pretty sad. I think it's not great value. But I'm gonna see what employee has in mind. And dmannaioni just does animals now. Plays the Gereza. Okay, yeah. While it's still there, and the last animal, it's a 1 size. Does place test devil out of range. Okay, makes sense. And takes this rather small. Okay, seems a bit too late for it, but yeah, don't know. It's done build. Now he threatens to do primates himself, and yeah, 2 more primates appear. Oh wait, so dmannaioni only did have the capuchin, right? And he did not have a squirrel monkey, but now obviously he also is going to be eyeing this one because of his baboon rock. And okay, employee just does primates. And okay, so I think small animals is going to be the second one. I think this is a very sad use of the ×2, but yeah, would classify as a mistake for me. I'm just gonna be bold enough and proclaim this. We don't even have a sponsor, so we take money. Yeah, needed to take a worker for the second project, and I'll just 12 more money. So at least we're very rich. Employee just does release the tortoise now. So yeah, that's exactly the problem which I already alluded to before. Now we have to free up the 3 and not the 4 size. Takes the 2 size bonus. Yeah, I think it makes sense, right? You want to connect it to the ×2 later on during the break. Even donates. Okay, so now dmannaioni definitely kind of wants to go towards the break. Probably he doesn't have a lot of money. Then we just take the rhino. Okay. Now the question is, what project are we even taking? Like, we have Africa 4 here. Habitat is probably just not possible anymore. Even America is an option, right? Because we have a 3rd one here and 2 more Americas here on display. And there's also a 5th Africa here. But I think Africa is just better. Because, like, is dmannaioni really gonna snap away the bush baby, which is just useless for him? Probably not, right? But he does take America. Interesting. Okay, so this way you definitely need to play either the monkey or the reindeer from range now. But this also puts the bush baby into draw range for dmannaioni now. And I assume he's just gonna deny all of this again. So we sell the rhino. And okay, migration recording, also interesting. But yeah, I assume like both monkeys are just going away now for sure. Like he must suspect that employee took either America or Africa, so he needs to take these two for sure. He draws two from deck. And yeah, these two. The release, yeah, you can just leave it there. You can't use it, and without upgraded cards, there's no way for employee to get it to release this reindeer. Predator breeding appears. We can't use it, but dmannaioni has his test level, right? Yeah. Okay, and now employee. I mean, now employee is a bit of a bad spot because he doesn't have money anymore, right? So kind of wants to break probably. Maybe we just see break 7 now. Breakaway is 2 workers. Okay, but instead he was rather special. Interesting. I put some small. Yeah, makes sense. I can also kind of understand it. So, I mean, he just probably hopes to find some small American animal, right? And I don't know, do we have time to play like 4 more animals? So this would be 8 points. I'm not quite sure. Like dmannaioni is probably just 1 action and another times 2 action away from crossing. You can also assume that he probably has the last Europe in hand. So, yeah, dmannaioni does play the rather small now. So I didn't quite understand it at the moment. I think it's actually pretty good here now, right? You still have the workers. You have more money now, so it's really on employee to cause the break. Employee just need to just fish for American animals here now, right? We do find one. It even has water, but it's just not playable. Unlucky. So this one goes. Thorny Devil is very good though. This is our last rock, and we have at least 4 playable small animals now. Aquatic is a project, but I think we don't have time to do 2 projects, so I think this one just goes. Yep. Now dmannaioni. Builds even more. Okay, builds a pavilion on the X. Sure, there's some more X's here to get. Wow, okay. He also covers the ×2 before the last round and puts it on the Soch. I'm a bit flustered. I don't quite understand because he can't even do 2 projects, right? So you're just probably taking what partner zoo and doing a project. We know he has herbivore breeding. Well, could do predator breeding from range, but I don't quite know. Like, this is also pretty weak value, right? Like you're guaranteed to do 2 projects next round for sure. Like there are already 2 playable breeding programs here, and he can even leech on small animals, and maybe, probably, hopefully, still has Europe 4. And with all the X tokens here, he could have just taken the last partner zoo for the worker anyway, for the final worker anyway. So honestly, I don't understand it, but I don't also see his hand, right? So maybe I'm too critical here, but very surprising to me, and I don't really like it. Employee just continues to build. Sure, fair enough. You didn't want. You just pray that you have tempo for a project and 2 animal actions. And now that dmannaioni like uses up the ×2, this is still on the horizon, I guess. So we do take a partner. We take Africa, not America. I mean, we definitely want the last continent for quarantine lab. So Africa, interesting choice. And spend another X to do what? Herbie breeding, right? Yeah. Perfect. Okay, we know that dmannaioni has the squirrel monkey, right? So this is just America, and I guess taking Africa also shows that he wants to play the bush baby, which actually scores very well, to be fair. Like, especially if you're suspecting that employee took Africa 5, and with rather small, he can even play 3 animals, right? So hopefully it's just bush baby, squirrel monkey, and some European small animal. Like a slower Musso would be so nice here. And yeah, employee just needs to cause the break. And just hope that dmannaioni needs 3 turns to cross, but honestly this looks very unlikely. So like the Soch is a bit down for dmannaioni, but the squirrel monkey has a clever, right? So there's that. Guess we just snap something, but breeding is playable for us. But we won't have time for 2 projects, but I guess just keep it. Just take it anyway. And dmannaioni, I mean, okay, this Nile crocodile is useless, so just because we just take predator breeding, right? I mean, yeah. So honestly, both would really love the ×2 now, right? Like dmannaioni, if he had kept his associate up, then he could just do do two projects and even do the last project with an associate for the partner zoo, and maybe even then just finish out with an animal action. Um, so yeah, bit of a missed opportunity. And for employee, so he didn't have great projects at the time, right? But now he really would have loved the times 2 in animals to just play these 4 animals and then have tempo for another project. Because right now I think dmannaioni will probably cross in 2 turns, so we can only do animals and project, and we can't even do 4 animals, right? Because if we do animals now, it's on 1. We only have 1 X token. So this is 1 X token that we wasted earlier by first playing native and then only snapping the rhino, prevents us from playing 4 animals here. And this 4 animals is probably just better because we don't have a great project, right? We're still missing the last America tag. We can dig for it, but yeah, he's the cougar, but yeah, too late, not in range, no enclosure. dmannaioni, just draw some deck, sure, maybe we'll find something good. So here's the Quadi, okay, so that is the America. So also Bush Baby and some European animal, I think. Hope. Wow, yes, there's still the Squirrel Monkey, okay. Obviously got with Baboon Rock and the Bush Baby. So very unlucky for dmannaioni. He did not get to to a 4th Europe tag. It's very unfortunate. But okay, he can still. Still has a breeding program, right? He can leech of small animals too. He has 7, a bit unlucky, but still a decent enough project. And because he could just clever down, he can even do a Soch 7 to do rep for the last for another shield. So yeah, now employee only has 2 actions left, right? So I think you just play the tap here and dig and pray to the RNG gods that you find an America tag. Even this is most likely not enough, but I mean, just gotta hope for your best. So play tap here. Wow, okay, and a raccoon appears. Sure, better lucky than good. Dig a gamma. Gotta use the sea turtle tank. Sure. Now what? Okay, so let me think a little bit. So the thing is, it's a bit counterintuitive, but I think you do not do America's 5 here, right? You still play the raccoon, but because of the boost association, you can just boost it down and then do 2 animals again. And this just must be better than America's 5, right? Because we can't donate, can't even take the last unit, so this is just 15 points. Shoebill with Waza Specialist already 8, and Tony Devil with Waza and Cable Car is 7. So these 2 are just 15 raw points immediately. Tony Devil also the last rock icon, so it's worth 18. And we do have diverse, right? Yeah. So the Thorny Devil is also another shield for reptiles. We are already ahead on birds. So these 2 animals are just worth 21 points compared to 15 from America's project. So I would assume, so it's definitely correct to just boost down the Soch here. I hope employee does this. So he plays the raccoon. Yeah, she scored pretty well with Waza. And he does boost it down. So yeah, very well done to just not like see the America's 5 and autopilot into the project, but realizing that animals is better here. And dmannaioni is probably just going to do small animals now. Let's take the rep. Did he already sell a card? He did not, so he can sell a card and even donate. Takes the last uni. Yep, does small animals. Okay, and another donation. This puts him at 112. It's probably enough to win, although employee, like, these 2 animals will score deceptively well, and our endgames are also pretty good, right? So let's see what we get with these 2 first. So the shoe bill. So this puts us at 96. So we are 16 points behind. But if we look at end games, right, we have 3 from cable car, 6 more from native. I mean, it's so unlucky. We didn't even get the full end game from diversity, but this is another 4. So we have 13 points from sponsor end games. dmannaioni only has 3. So after sponsor end games, we're effectively behind by 6 points. We have 3 shields from diverse. We have 4 projects. dmannaioni has 5, so we lose a tiebreaker. So basically, we can only win if dmannaioni literally has a 0 CP endgame. And I mean, favorite is 4, research is 2, small animals, 7, right, is also 2. I mean, the only combo with 0, I think, is aquatic and large. So very unlikely, but yeah, going to see what happens. Maybe a cable car, native, diverse, quarantine lab, and okay, dmannaioni does have research too. So yeah, very interesting and very close game too. Felt pretty fast. So yeah, it was 29 turns. Fair enough. And yeah, I mean, with such a close result, you always look for the small margins to eke out a win, right? So for employee, as I said, I think like playing the secretary bird and Schubel from range there was so good. Him not like like putting enough emphasis on getting a good Rhino project earlier or setting it up earlier really like hurt him a lot. Also, this 1x which he wasted by mistraining the Rhino Snap and native farm animals could have been very costly if the raccoon doesn't show up. And also like this times 2, right? I mean, he didn't get great value out of this. I think this is definitely a mistake. Like just having the 1 extra tempo in the end, just getting to play times 2 animals and then just doing Americas, for example, would have already been enough for a win, I think. But oh, I don't know. Maybe wouldn't, but still. For dmannaioni, so yeah, also his times 2, I think, was not didn't get great value out of it. I think both of them should have just saved it. So I was just very surprised that both of them they blew their loads so early, or maybe poor choice of words, but I hope only adults are watching. But both of them used it so early and didn't get good value out of it. And also for dmannaioni, like so not keeping the low mountain range. I assume he just sold it for the red panda, right? Definitely a mistake. Got punished by the secretary bird appearing just immediately after. And also he like like screwed up the order on like the release, right? The tortoise release and the species diversity. This way he didn't get back the 4 size. Could have been like impactful. It wasn't in this case, but still small mistake. But I don't want to harp too much on these things because I think overall like mistakes always happen, right? And I think both of them actually played pretty well. Definitely a respectable showing by both. And also very good scores for such a short game, right? So yeah, well done to both. Was a nail biter till the end with a lot of interesting decisions. That's it from my side. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm new to this, so feel free to leave criticism, feedback on what I can improve upon. And I hope I see you next time. Bye.